Just received an update.
It's the Think High crew, yeah.
Just received an update.
Yeah, it's the Think High crew, what up?
Just received
Yeah,
an update.
it's the Think High crew, you know.
Just received an update.
It's the Think High crew, what up? It's the Think High crew, yeah. It's the Think High crew, yeah. 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 Think High crew, yeah Welcome to my hood.
My hood. My hood.
There ain't nothing
Ain't
normal.
nothing normal.
You can take a walk in my hood.
My hood.
Where everything paranormal.
Paranormal.
Everything paranormal.
Yeah.
If you scared of dying, we got something for
We got
you.
something for you.
Open up the door, you can be immortal.
Yeah.
If you really try to run, step into the buckle up. I'ma show you where it's at. It's right here.
Buckle up.
Grand
I'm gonna
Rising.
show you where it's at.
What up? What up?
This is the day where we say, "What the fuck?"
What the fuck is going on? What's up, Megawatt?
What's up, you guys? Can you hear me?
So, I'm not getting any better.
I feel you, bro.
Seems like I'm getting worse again now.
That lingering.
And this, well, yeah, and it's supposedly this, I don't know, whatever you want to call this, what I got. Supposedly, you have it, and then you start feeling better, and then it comes back, and then you finally get rid of it.
It circles.
So
Circles the block on that
I can
ass.
tell you right now, my head, bro, my face, my ears, I got so much shit up in me, and
Bro,
I mean,
I
I'm
was
just
like that on
blowing like
Monday
crazy
show,
though.
and I had a fever on Monday show, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm still gonna fucking. It circled back on me too, bro. Trust me.
I think
It's-
it's intended to do that. To be honest
yeah,
with you,
yeah. It's like programmed to circle the block on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once you think that
'Cause
you got it.
you need so much energy to fight off something like that, and your body can only do it for so many days. So I think it's like it pushes past that point, and then you start to think you're feeling better, so you get up and you do a couple
do
things,
shit.
and then it's like, oh hell no, let me take you
Yup.
back down.
Yup.
I think it's meant to do that. I really feel that way.
Yeah, I could agree with that because it circled the block on my whole house. Like we was like, oh yeah, great, we're good, and then boom
Yep.
again. You know what I mean? Right. The pattern happened but it happened, in a different way. Instead of it starting with me and ending with the kids, it started with the kids and then ended with me. And I was like, damn,
Right.
it just
Well, in my
circled the
case, it
fucking
didn't
block.
start with me. It started with some fucking idiot that left his wife at home, and his wife had COVID.
Mm,
And so check this out though. So some people test positive, and then some people don't.
right.
The people that test positive are the people that use the at-home test. The people that test negative are the people that get tested at the doctor or the hospital.
I've seen both, and I had a coworker who got sick about a week and a half ago. She ended up going the next day to urgent care. They told her that she doesn't have COVID for the test in the doctor's office. And
Right.
she said, well, I think I do. And they argued back and forth. And he said, well, it doesn't really matter anyway because the tests are becoming unreliable. And so we're just
No shit.
coaxing everyone to get this shot anyways. That's what they told her.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild,
Mhm.
bro. That's wild that they actually fucking just said that shit. You
Mhm.
mean there's a lot of doctors, to be honest, they don't even give them that kind of information
Well,
to say to
they're
people.
getting bombarded with, all these different questions from all these different people from
And
like
they're like, "Oh shit, y'all thought we knew this? Oh
mhm.
hell no, we ain't
Mhm.
never knew this
And
shit."
Right.
it is
Yeah,
best
well,
to
I know
refuse.
because I've asked doctors, like, when it came to my middle child Lilith, you know what I mean. I would ask them, like, well, what's in this, and they could never tell me. I'm like, don't you have a
Mhm.
sleeve on that thing that you can roll, or just roll it out and show me what's on there, right? And they wouldn't do it, and I'm like, well, would
Mhm.
you do you know what's in it? And they would always tell me some bullshit like a cocktail of things. And I'm like, well, you could take that cocktail somewhere else because kids shouldn't drink alcohol. Like, you know what I mean? They be looking at me,
Yeah.
well, they
Yeah.
be looking at me like, well, I'm like, I'm just saying, bro. Like, I don't understand why you need to put
Well,
this type of shit
think
in a
about
fucking
this.
child. It doesn't make
Think
any
about this
sense.
shit. So my wife, she was like, I'm gonna. Well, I was the one. I was like, why don't you just go to the doctor and at least get some steroids? Because I just don't like seeing her sick. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I was like, just get some steroids. We know what those are. You just take them for a few days, and at least help you get through the worst part of it. So it ain't like it's going to cure it. It's just going
Right.
to help you get. So anyway, we're in there, and this fucking nurse comes in there, and I ain't gonna say her name because it's a local, but she's
Right.
like that nurse Ratchet, right?
Yeah.
You remember
Yeah,
One
I know
Flew
what
Over
you.
the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's what she's like. So I had gotten to an argument with this woman before because I went up there. So I literally cracked a rib. All right, and I was at work when I did this shit. I stepped up on a truck and then I fucking slipped off of it and I just went right down on the fucking tailgate of the truck on my
Mm-hmm.
rib. That bitch hurt like a motherfucker. I got pictures of me still working like that, digging fucking trenches for irrigation and shit. So
Right,
anyway,
right.
I got to the point where I was like, man, I don't know, like this motherfucker really does hurt. And so my wife was like, well, you need to go to the doctor. Okay, so I go to the doctor. They go back there and x-ray me. And I'm like, I mean, what's the x-ray really going to do? There's nothing you can do for the rib anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And the guy was like, well, we still need to get an x-ray to see how to treat you. I said, so with an x-ray and without an x-ray, what's the diet? What's the treatment plan?
Treatment, right.
Yep, they
Same
don't like
shit.
it when you do that. They do
It's
not
the
like that.
same thing.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to have to pay for a fucking x-ray
X-ray, right.
if I don't have to pay
Got
for
no
it because I don't
X-ray.
even have insurance.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, look, I'm a human being and I should be able to decide on what I want to spend on. And I should be
Right.
able to refuse or accept any type of treatment. So when I
Mm-hmm.
asked that question, he was like, well, yeah, I mean, you're pretty much right. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but you could talk to the doctor about that. And I said, all right, well, then I'm not going to take the x-ray. And I said, it wasn't even recommended to me by a doctor. I said, the nurse said that I should get it.
Right.
So the doctor comes in and he's like, so you refused the x-ray? And I was like, yeah. I said, I just want to talk to you about it. I said, because you're the doctor. And I said, so what would you do if it comes back cracked or not cracked? He goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, what are you going to do for me? He goes, well, it just depends on the strength of the pain medicine. I said, okay, well, how about this? My shit hurts. I've already told you I told the nurse my pain level was at 10. I said, so just act accordingly, however you would do that. He goes, so you're going to refuse the da da da. I said, yeah. Man, that motherfucker sent that nurse back in there with some goddamn ibuprofen.
Yep.
I went the fuck off, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not because of because I sat in there so long and I was
Yeah.
trying to be
Yeah, bro.
the best for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I'll open the door and I said, ma'am. And she turned around. I said, why did you give me ibuprofen? She goes, I didn't give you anything. The doctor did. I said, tell that doctor to come back in here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Loud, bro. I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm in pain too, man.
Right.
And Doctor comes back in there. And he's like, well, what's going on? I said, bro, just like this. Tiana then got embarrassed, walked outside. And I said, bro, why you prescribe me ibuprofen? I said, I can go get ibuprofen from the motherfucking store. He goes, yeah, but you can't buy 800 milligram ibuprofen. I said, well, I can take 4 200s and be straight.
Right.
What's the difference? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so he goes, well, what would you like for me to do? Since you don't want to get an x-ray, I said, I would like for you to prescribe me something with some narcotic in it. That way it's at least going to take my head away from the pain.
Right.
And he goes, okay, writes out a script, 3 different scripts, muscle relaxers, kept the ibuprofen, and added in some hydrocodone or whatever it is. So I left. And now every time I go back in there, though, long story short, this nurse always looks at me weird. So when she came in there asking Tiana, my wife, about shit, she said, well, have you gotten the vaccine? And Tiana goes, the vaccine? Which one? And the woman goes, RSV, flu, or COVID? And Tiana was like, no, I'm not at risk for anything. And no, I didn't get a vaccine. And the woman looks at her, looks at me, and goes, mm-hmm. And check something on the thing. So I'm sitting there the whole time like, man, I'm about to just open my mouth. But I never did. So anyway, Nurse
they
Ratchet.
can never tell you what's in them things. Yeah,
No,
they
but
never can tell you what's in them. And then when you start asking questions about what's in them, it's like, oh,
it's like when they ask you, did you take it? They get pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why are you getting mad? I'll get up and punch you in your motherfucking chest right now.
Hey, they be getting mad. Like,
what's
look,
wrong with these people?
When my son was born during COVID, and smack dab in the middle of the shit. We in the hospital. They ain't, obviously, you know what I mean? The only people they would let in was me. But there was sometimes some fathers who they wouldn't even let in. But because, like, I did shit like you talking about, like, raising my fucking voice on them niggas. Like, I'm like, you think, I'm like, y'all seen John Q? You think you about to keep me out this hospital?
Right.
They're like, come on, Mr. Curtis, come on. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah. So y'all seen John Q? Because I ain't on that. You know what I mean? My son up in here, and I tear this whole bitch up, bro. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, all right, come on.
My son, my wife's in this bitch. You crazy fuck.
I had to have surgery during COVID, and no one could come to see me.
Right. See, right, bro. Yeah, right. I wasn't playing that, and not with my wife and my motherfucking baby, because they was in there like, when the baby came out, like, can we use this and use this and use this? I said, no, give me the list of things that y'all want to give to him. And they came back with the list, and I was like, nope, you can give him this the silver nitrate for his eyeballs. That's cool. But no, the rest of the shit we don't want. And they're like, okay, right. And then 3 more doctors came in after that talking about why I don't want to get the baby vaccinated. Why don't you want to get the baby vaccinated? Why don't you want to get the baby vaccinated? Why don't you want to get the, like, how many times y'all motherfuckers gonna ask us? My wife just looked at me, was like, I let her kind of handle the first 2, but the 3rd time they sent in an African dude like it was about to change my motherfucking life. You know what I mean? Like, they sent in an African dude. He says, why not you want to vaccinate the baby? I said, who the fuck are you? Who are you? I haven't seen you through my wife's entire fucking pregnancy.
He's like, I'm the guy that's supposed to make you feel comfortable.
He didn't even want to say that. He's like, my name is Dr. So-and-so, da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you even work under fucking... No? Oh, what the fuck? Because I don't want to, my nigga. That's why. How about that? Is that okay? Can we?
They sent your ass in here to try to tell me the white man ain't gonna. Trust me, I'm a black man also. Okay, right. And you should do this. Like, man, what are we? You want to give him what? 1960s?
Said you want to give him what? Hepatitis C vaccine? They're like, yeah. I'm like, you want to give him a hepatitis C vaccine? I was like, and what's that for? And he was like, well, it's for people, for people who intravenous drug use and tattoos. I said he was fucking born how many hours ago, my nigga?
It's and like, I guarantee you this.
Or getting tattoos, my nigga?
The only goddamn needle that he's going to be exposed to is this motherfucker you trying to put in.
Right.
So ain't no need for all this hepatitis talk anyway.
Right. I was like,
and then it's like this, as a society, are we that dirty and nasty to where we got to have these shots to be able to live, bro? Well, come the fuck on, man.
Here's the thing,
I don't give a fuck if I sound ignorant or not. Fuck all that bullshit.
If you hadn't have been in there, Jason,
that's ridiculous.
They would have taken the avenue of accusing your wife of possibly having unprotected sex to try to get her to give the baby the
Oh
hepatitis
yeah,
C vaccine. That's the other tactic that they
yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
would have and that's why they tried to like we as soon as he was born and then they're like, you got to go for your checkups and shit for the baby, right? They wouldn't allow both parents to go back. So when we first went for the first checkup, they were like and I was just about to walk back there like I normally fucking do. And they're like, "Oh no, you can't come back either. Only one parent can go back." And my wife's like, "Well, you could do it." And then they kind of didn't even want me to go at all.
mhm,
Like they
mhm.
knew I was, like the father is the protector of this shit. They were like, well, we'd rather have the mother. I'm like, what the fuck does that for what? What does it matter? If you said one of us can go back and she's like, here, babe, you go. Because you're more well versed in these medical terms and shit that they fucking use. You go, babe. And then they're like, see, and it shit made me go off. I'm like, you know what? We just not going. Until y'all niggas change this shit. Call us when y'all change it. You know what I mean? Because both of us about to be walking back here, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. Yeah, they tried that shit. They tried all of that shit, and they really tried to keep me away from out of the situation.
What I found funny was all of the testing where I lived was done. You had to wait in a line outside and go in a tent outside in the middle of the
Hmm.
winter and do all
Hmm.
this stuff when you were sick and you had a fever and you had this and you
Hmm.
had that.
They
I'm like,
had drive-throughs,
why are you doing this outside? And it doesn't make any sense. Like this is
right?
not healthy for people to
Mm-mm.
sit outside and
Megawatt. They had drive up where you could drive
yeah,
up and
yeah,
you can get tested right in your car. Like you didn't even
yeah.
have to. You know what I mean? Like, and what's
But
so crazy is like,
those were full because it was cold. So then the
yeah.
overflow was the outside waiting in
But
lines.
our hospitals, though, they weren't even like overflow. They were more overflowed, not even during COVID. I'm talking about they were more overflowed after, like directly after
Yeah,
COVID than they
and
were
I
during.
asked them when I got to my surgery, I'm like, "The hospital is empty. Why don't you let
Right,
people come in here?" And they says,
right.
"We don't want potential COVID victims exposed to the people who have to be in the hospital." So they knowingly made those
Man, that's
decisions.
wild.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know what though? Because I know a lot of nurses and doctors because my wife has a lot of them as clients. And on some real shit, I even know the woman that is the head of the board of Memorial Hospital in Savannah, Georgia.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And this woman told me straight up, and I can't name no names, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
But this woman told me straight up, she said a hospital is 6 beds away from being at capacity or overfilled at
At
all
all
times.
times. Yep.
So you got 6 people with COVID up in that bitch, and it's oh my God, we need freezers for the dead bodies outside. Man, get the fuck on. A morgue is about 2 or 3 dead bodies away from being
Right.
overfilled anyway, too.
Right.
I mean, damn, bro, this shit is just wacky.
Yeah.
I'm
It
telling you,
is.
man.
Well, you can tell it's been it's just been
And I can't even
monopolized. Like,
understand how the fuck we can't even let go of this shit because we
yeah.
already know deep down inside of us, they finna reactivate this bitch one day.
Oh, well, for sure, man. There's already been talks of bro, your girl Kamala Deep Throat Goat Harris,
The goat,
and
I'm
the
talking about.
goat.
I wanna see. I wanna see now. Shit. I just wanna tell my wife, just let me see. Shit. I just wanna see. Let me see how motherfucking goatish this bitch is. Boy, I
Right.
goat that motherfucker down on the I
She,
goat her ass to where she can't goat no more.
listen, so the throat goat Kamala just recently
Throat
had
goat.
that's something I was gonna say on what the fuck when it was one of my what the
Had them
fucks.
motherfuckers' eyes
She was
watering like
talking
a
about how
motherfucker,
we
boy.
need to prepare for
Throat
another
goat.
pandemic.
Wham, wham, wham.
Oh
She
How
on
my
you
there
like
talking
that,
like
throat goat?
she on there talking like this. She like, we should have been prepared for the last one. Like, how do you prepare for some shit that's
Uh,
unpreparable
She's
for?
like, I should have been
boy.
prepared because the
It's like,
last
hey, you
one,
have to study for a pop quiz, bitch. How? You know what I'm
I
saying?
should have
Like,
been prepared for the first one. I thought I was the goat, but I wasn't. This motherfucker almost tore the back of my throat out.
Oh my
I
gosh.
should have been prepared. I literally
Well,
thought I was the goat.
she was
Bill,
I've
just
but
realized,
Bill Gates is advising how you can be prepared. He has a whole plan. So,
oh
yeah, well,
god,
you know
fuck
what
the
he needs
nigga
to
who
do?
want to kill trees. He sound fucking
Hey,
retarded
you
anymore.
know what
Like,
Bill Gates needs to do? First of all, he needs to get that ugly ass daughter of his
oh,
a
tears,
better
sorry,
look.
sorry.
Second of all, he needs to get rid of them damn man titties he's got. Ain't no motherfucker finna tell me about my health when I look better than you do in a health stance. Just like the motherfucker me and you was talking about this shit, Jason. But the fucking long-headed, gray-haired motherfucker that's over the goddamn health shit for the government, the federal government. How the fuck you gonna tell me when you're mentally and physically worse off than I am? Mentally, you don't even know who the fuck you are, and physically, you fat as fuck. I'm sorry, but you can't tell me how to live.
We should have definitely some of the most, like, as all of the fitness people that I see all over social media, we should have definitely somebody who's way more healthier than who we have that's running that our current health department.
I mean, look, think about it. Mental health is shot going out the window with that person.
If you look at all
physical
the
health
cabinet
is
members,
shot gone.
if you look at all the cabinet members associated with health in any capacity, they all look very sick and not healthy. And
they're like they look like they're being kept alive by something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like there's a treatment that they're all getting that's just keeping their ass alive, and it's super expensive, so they gotta rape everybody.
You know what that motherfucker? You know what they look like to me? They look like the Addams Family.
Yep. They do.
And I look pale as a motherfucker. And I like pale skin. Don't get me wrong. I love pale skin. But these motherfuckers got that transparent, translucent, fucking death-looking skin. And they look like goddamn Pugsy.
Man, they look
or Pugsley, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, they look like
I mean, the little kid, little fat fucker.
Yeah, that's good.
Because look, let's just be honest about it. I can sit here and say fat fucker all day. But we know right now it's unhealthy to be overweight a certain amount. Yeah, when you just kind of whatever
to even be underweight, you know what I'm saying? Like
I was just about to say, like there's an unhealthy underweight.
Yeah, my
and there's an
is
unhealthy
so fast.
overweight. I'm not just chiming on the overweight part, but
It's
all
true.
I see telling me that I need to be healthy is overweight people telling me I need to be healthy.
Just to put it in perspective for you guys, I'm fucking 5'8", 5'9". I should be 155 to 160 something, 67 pounds or some shit like that. I weigh like $140 because my metabolism's so fucking fast, and I don't fucking gain fucking weight. You know what I mean? And that's just fucking what it is.
I'm 6'1", 6'2", 180, 185.
Yeah, you right where you supposed to be.
But
damn.
If you're not in that category and you have a problem and you need help, the first thing they prescribe you is shots.
Oh my gosh, I was just about to fucking say that.
Yeah, and unless that bitch comes in a glass, I ain't taking them shots unless it's in a glass. Shots.
No, she's right though, because when I asked the doctor about it, because it's like I can eat, you know, I even smoke bud, so you know I'll be having the munchies. It's not like I can't eat. Like I'll fucking eat my shit out of house and home. You know what I mean? Like because like I won't gain a fucking pound. The doctor's like, well, we can give you some shots to slow down your metabolism. I'm like, bitch,
get the fuck out of here, man.
I'm like, shots. I'm like,
my shit's gonna slow down one day.
One day, maybe, but like I'm cool on it. But that's exactly what they offered me with shots, bro. I was like, I'm good on the shots.
That's a good thing.
So if you have a problem, what are they gonna help you with? They don't tell you to do anything. They just give you a different prescription. So it's very backwards. It's very backwards.
Yep. That's why I go to a chiropractor, because the chiropractor tells me more about health.
That's
and ways
to
what the clear
fuck,
up things.
Like what the fuck is going on? You know, we you know, like, and I'm glad y'all bring this type of shit up. And I'm glad it's like a natural conversation with us about it. Like we didn't plan this, guys. This is just a natural what the fuck conversation, because we haven't really discussed what the fuck.
But also, I can read Jason's mind, so also.
Well, you know what? This is gonna be a regular until we figure out that some motherfuckers is telling the truth. Your favorite doctor is a lie. Song after song. Song after song. Different types of liar.
This is the way that the chips fall.
Big!
I hope you was betting on me. I've been all in since the windfall. Watching the L coming streets. Never gave up on the old me. Been rapping so long, now I'm OG. Supreme of the valley, that's word of the adage. Just at me if you want the whole thing. And it's on me, I don't like the cap. I don't ever rap what I don't live. Keep the hood on tap, and it's a fact. We're only a fraction of my wrist. See, I'm built like that. I don't want it all. I just wanna ball with my bros. Give it all to the kids when we go and let them know that your favorite rapper is a lie. Yeah, fuck what they talking, been telling you why.
Fuck what they prescribe, and I'm telling you why.
Yeah, you thought they was real? Open your eyes.
Ibuprofen for a cracked rib?
Yeah, this shit's not a game. We trying to survive.
Oh, you're sick?
Shots for your
Did you take the
metabolism.
vaccine? Wait a minute, you're sick? Did you take the vaccine? No?
In a world where music is God, your favorite rapper is a lie. Yeah, fuck what they talking, been telling you why. Yeah, you thought they was real? Open your eye. Yeah, this shit's not a game.
And the second verse is gonna be me talking to these motherfuckers.
Trying to survive in a world where music is God. Your favorite rapper is a lie.
Check it out.
Might see me walking down Erie at midnight. We ain't the same on the inside.
Nope.
Black sheep. Niggas still ball like he's 6'5". Still push your bitch in the 6'9".
Hey.
I was on ice, pushing that weight up an incline. Nigga had life, all in the back of that Nissan. Fuck is you talking about? We made a way.
Had life in the back
He
of that
said, "Fuck what
Nissan.
you
You think I'm really
talking
gonna take a motherfucking vaccine, bro? I had life in the back of a Nissan. You think I'm worried about your fuck ass game?
Wall Street had us on decline. You niggas is bright till I pop
Been in shootouts and shit. You think I'm worried about
out
that?
like a neon. You niggas is hot till I show up with the Freon. We on a whole nother plane. All of my foes is going insane. You know what it is, it's fucking supreme.
I had the motherfucking La Familia trying to get me. You think I'm worried about a goddamn shot?
Yeah,
Fuck what they talking, been telling you why. Yeah, you thought they was real? Open your eye. Yeah, this shit's not a game. We trying to survive in a world where music is God. Your favorite rapper is a lie.
Cause I don't bust back. I just shoot first. All right, so let's get into it, man.
Let is. We back with another What the Fuck Wednesday. January the motherfucking 10th. You with the Think High crew, the gods and the goddesses you love to hate and hate the motherfucking love. And today is a number uno. Some will call it a 10. Some will call it a 1. A little bit different when you got the 0 at the end of it, but we'll just break it down globally for you today. So with it being a 1, you know, new discoveries. It's the beginning, starting things. Independent action is more likely to succeed. So if you got some shit that you can work on independently, like I got 3 cover arts that need to be getting fucking done, and I don't really need anybody else's opinion or help to get that done, and I will get that shit started and finished today. Expect new or more attention on improving relationships, and the value of friendship is more likely to be noticed. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm reading ahead. That was for 2. Self-determination and independence is for today because it's a 1. Sorry, guys. So that's tomorrow.
No, that's
But,
fine. I'll know
no.
how to act tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And
Because tomorrow
today,
we off. But today's
right?
more about self-determination and independence. The goal of greater self-sufficiency. Today is like, yep, I'm a better me than I was yesterday, because yesterday was a 9 and you had time to finish up everything that you wanted to finish up and get that shit done. Now today, let's start new shit and get it in. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay. So the global number 1 would be it's right to assuming it's time to start new things. Obviously, normally the 1 is full of energy and vigor, determination, enthusiasm. Look at it like this, like even the numeral is straight up and down, so it's like an arrow, it's pointing you up, or in the direction from which you might need to move. There's a goal to be reached, and there's going to be obstacles to overcome, and 1 won't dally when it comes to doing what it needs to be done. In fact, there's also an air of impatience around the day. And that comes with more than just, a touch.
Sound like a motherfucking velociraptor or some shit in the background.
Yeah, my son in the background yelling.
Like he got a hold of a human and is eating a human.
You hear him? Roar! That's exactly what he did. That's exactly. Hey, he living free as fuck. I love it. I'll be like, so you gotta until I get my studio where I can, get my shit locked up. You mean, or until he gets a little bit more mature, you might just hear a little bit of, T Rexes and a little baby T Rexes
Get
in
one
the
of them Nerf guns and throw a little thumbtack in it.
back. He got a couple of them. He be working around with them. I got pictures
He'd
of
be
him.
walking
He
around with one
always,
hanging out of his butt next time.
bro, it's always he always got this strap on him. I'm like, bro, who's you talking to? Nova on the low? You talking to Nova and you not telling me because he always
Right?
walking around with a strap on him. I'm like, why you always got your Nerf gun on you, bro? Put that shit away.
Well,
But so people may be blunt.
stay strapped up, but
Yeah, he do. He do. I can show you pictures, bro. I'm put. I should put one in the chat of him. Even when he on the toilet, he got the strap with him. I'm not playing.
hell yeah, he
Uh,
does sound like me. Should I keep a strap under the toilet? That way I ain't even got to bring it
I'm
with
like,
me.
bro, and he always got the strap with him. Trust me. So, but people may be blunt today. So one, or so it might seem tactless,
It
or
brings a
or
whole new
feel
meaning when you
tactless.
talking about blowing the toilet up.
Yeah, facts all the way. So a lot of humans though they get frazzled easy, and things aren't especially when things aren't happening quickly enough for them. So the energy of the day of the one uh won't put on flounces. It says it won't sugarcoat things, basically anything, or it won't dress it up. Won't put a nice fucking dress on it. It's kind of straightforward and it's pretty blunt. If you have running with someone today, don't jump into too many conclusions. They may just be having an impatient few moments of their day. We all have those. So you should be able to reflect with that, and check out how you can best mesh the positive energy of one with your own cycle number. So, I'm a 5, and if I want to keep it positive, doing some independent work, or doing some things or starting some things, I got, new music that needs, thank you, son. I have new music that needs cover art. And so I should probably get that started if I don't get it finished. But definitely get that started today and get that worked on. So, yeah, be the better you than you were yesterday. Today's a 1, and
Right.
I'm gonna toss this Dutchy joint, whatever you want to call it, microphone over to the homie Megawatt, because she probably got some stars and cards for us.
Hey, I got a question before you start, Megawatt. So
Mhm.
I was gonna ask you, since Jason just said cycles, the word cycles, I was gonna ask, have you been able to put your finger on how Apple has created the app that tracks female cycles, etc.? And then are they using like some type of astrology when they're doing that, or how are they? You know what I mean?
That's
Well,
a good
there's more.
question.
And
There's
then
more
also,
apps.
while I'm asking that, one more thing is, why do you think, or why is it that when women get around each other, sometimes their cycle like
That's
links
true.
up?
Okay, yeah. Do you want me to start with that before I get into this?
Yeah.
Either
Oh
way,
yeah.
Okay,
either
I'll
way,
go
whichever's
first.
more comfortable to
Well,
you.
there are more apps than just the one that you referred to as Apple. Probably since
Well,
perhaps.
it just comes with the iPhone. And any Apple product
Yeah,
Okay.
you
yeah.
buy, it comes
I've
with. That's
seen
why I
that.
brought that up.
Let
But
me
yeah, I
just
mean,
let me just speak generally to it since I don't have an iPhone, but there's about 7 different.
Matt Jones don't neither.
I'm
Alright,
over to the
well,
dark side now. I'm sorry.
oh boy.
No, the reason why I say that, there was this joke online, right? I'll be real quick, and it was a somebody asking a question, and it was like, would you date a guy that didn't have a blue bubble in the text instead of a green? Because green is like regular text message to Android. And the girls were like, nah, if it ain't a blue bubble, I ain't even gonna give him the text back. So just saying.
Well, that may be something that, realigns that priority.
Matt
for him.
Jones walk around with 2
Yeah,
phones though. I
I'll
got
bet.
2 phones, but ain't neither one of them an iPhone though. That's what it is.
Well, one is for him to get a hold of by Billy, so we'll just leave it at that. But
Right? One's for the
anyways,
hose and one's for real shit.
yep. When you have 2 phones, I walk away. I am not even gonna talk to you. Bye. Unless you're putting one of them in a riverbed, we don't need to have a conversation.
I leave
so.
one at the crib though.
Yeah.
Like one is
No.
a work phone more than anything. Like I do a lot of
Oh,
designs and shit.
and
But yeah.
Matt Jones also robbed a store with a Nerf gun.
Nah.
Just saying.
Okay.
So back to it,
All right.
Megawatt. I'm gonna be quiet.
Back to the
Killer.
cycles. So there is about 7 that I'm aware of, different apps that track cycles. And this was pre-COVID. This has been for some time now. My intuition, or what I get off of it, tells me that it was to gather data for marketing purposes, knowing that
Mm,
marketing would be coming in a different way in the
mm-hmm,
future, like pre thoughts and pre actions. Your
mm-hmm,
phone would already know, what stores you go to, what
mm-hmm.
pharmacists you attend,
Oh, not to interrupt you real quick, but just to say, like we did kind of poke on this thing. It was yesterday or Monday. We had was talking about how like the collection of our medical data
hmm
has become like the number one thing for sale right now.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
it's not gold or anything. It's literally like your medical
Yeah.
data.
Your personal data. Yep.
Yes.
And if you're adding it into an app, you are making an agreement with the app that it can store the data and house the data for you, which
Mm-hmm.
means that it has it on a server, which means that it has it in a data warehouse, which means that it can be compromised, i.e., all of that stuff. So,
Right.
you might think that it's not a big deal to put that information in, but it ends up being a big deal when one
Right.
company buys another company, and
Mm-hmm.
now Kimberly
Yeah,
Clark
because if
is.
people get sued because
hmm
now you didn't gave their information, you didn't
hmm
sold information that you
Right.
told people that you weren't
And you
gonna
can't
sell.
you can't use an app like that without
Right.
putting personal data in it. It's not like a
Right.
you should use your calendar, if anything, that's what you should use it for, because the calendar is just storing dates and times. It's not really
Right.
putting things together like that is. But if you are trying to get pregnant, it is a good way to track your ovulation and tell you, when is a
Right.
good time for that. So that's the upside to it. But I don't think people will really fully understand what they participated in and what they were
Yeah. The
experimented on
collection of
until
data.
2024, 2025, when you see all these companies that collected
Mm-hmm.
your bio data, like
Mm-hmm.
23andMe and all these labs,
Mm-hmm.
commingle their data, and then
Mm-hmm.
basically they have a person's data all amped up in one thing in a folder, and they know
Yeah.
who you are even if they don't have a
It's just
name
crazy because
to
like,
put with
I,
it.
I consider myself an entrepreneur, and every now and then I look up the things that are selling the most, like just
Mhm.
on like on like a bigger scale than just like product. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
need product and service. I need a list of all the shit, all the markets, like what is selling the best, like what is the most valuable shit right now, and it's literally your fucking data that they're not supposed to be selling.
Mhm.
Like, you
It's
know what I
it's
mean? Like,
HIPAA protected data. Mhm.
That's why
yes.
Mhm.
Apple is really, if you think about it, Apple is the most valuable company on the planet.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Apple's defense to that is we have our shit so locked
Right.
down that if your phone gets stolen, nobody can ever break into it.
Right.
Only
That's
not
their,
even a
yeah.
police
Yep.
department or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Or
that's their.
their equipment doesn't get viruses, and it's the
Mhm.
hardest thing to fucking hack. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like a lot of people, and it's true though. As far as you know what I
I mean,
mean. But if you know,
they can cite court cases in law that says that they
yeah,
didn't turn over that information. So
right. But at the same time, they can, but they can get into your shit if they need to,
they can. They
and with
can.
any government order, they could just get ours. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a catch-22 kind of. It's like, yeah, I'm protected from maybe like your average pirate, your average
But Apple
information
won't give it
pirate.
up
But
though,
yeah, yeah,
Well,
you're
here's the
right.
thing. When
unless it goes
Amazon.
to like Supreme
Right,
Court
that's what
type
I'm
shit
saying.
or
Like
whatever.
it's only you only protect it until the government tells Apple
Mhm.
to give them the
But
information.
they even have cases to cite that there have been times when they have neglected to do that and they've declined to do that, even though they
Right,
know
Hmm.
it would help the case. So,
right,
but
right.
That's why
that
I fuck
Safety
with
really,
Apple.
issues.
this is not going to come fully into what we don't know until Amazon and Apple partner up and they really become a mega
Right.
conglomerate, which I believe should happen by 2026. And when those two things happen, all of these separate things and all of these things behind this door and behind that door, they'll no longer have their own, separate entries. They'll all be
Right.
one big
One big
thing.
pool.
So,
Yeah, they'll be pooled
mhm.
Yeah,
together.
well, I think that they'll probably end up doing something like that to compete with, there's a company called Tencent out
Mhm.
of China,
Mhm.
and they're the biggest company in China.
Mhm.
And they started out as a video game company, but now they're all into the data and all that shit. And then you've got Alibaba, which uses
And
Alipay
then you got
also. So if you
Timu.
think
Timu's
about,
been blowing up.
right, but if you think about Tencent with Alibaba, that's Apple with Amazon.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Apple Pay is like Alipay or Amazon Pay also. So believe me, I did some research because I was like, what's the biggest company in the world?
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm
Well,
saying? As far
that
as
was part
market
of,
share and
yeah,
all
that was
that.
part of the,
And it's definitely in the United States. It's
Yeah.
either Amazon or
right.
Apple.
But then you realize
But
like
then
they're
you got to
not.
look at Amazon. Amazon don't make anything though.
Yeah,
So
but
Apple
exact
is actually the motherfucker
right.
of all
But it's mainly
motherfuckers.
data collection is why they didn't got where they got to.
Mm-hmm.
Who,
You know what I'm
Apple?
saying? Both of them. Like
Oh yeah.
they've
Well, see,
collected the
Apple,
data that they needed to target where they, you know what I'm saying? Like it was the
right,
data collection that got them to where they were to, where they
right.
were.
Well, that's why Apple's going to kill everybody with the metaverse too,
Yes. Yes.
because they've got all of this stuff that we don't even really realize it, but they're using all of our stored information in the iCloud to build the
Database.
best
Yeah.
AR, augmented reality, and it's just going to kill everything. And you'll see it soon because the Apple Vision Pro comes out February 4th, I think
Yep.
it is, or something. And so that's going to change. Life is going to start changing because those things start at $3,500, but an iPhone starts at $1,200,
Well,
right?
they're gonna
And
have
it ain't no problem in selling iPhones. So
no,
best
yeah.
believe people's gonna buy
Because
this
it's only
thing.
gonna cost you $130 a month for fucking goddamn two years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? What up, Mr. B Great?
Oh, I didn't even know they had payments.
Oh,
on
they
it.
will. They'll
But
they'll
yeah.
have
Yeah, they
they'll
got
have
payments
they're
on
gonna
Hey.
have finance.
I'll be quiet though. I want to hear this astrology though.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know where I left off, so y'all gonna have to
I
remind
think it
me.
was like Aries or Great and something like
Nah, I
that.
think it was more
Definitely
like
that's not
Aries or
not
like
what I was
is
saying.
like the shit somewhere around there.
Okay, well I'll just go back to what I was saying. Anyways, so are you good with the question on the apps about tracking
Yeah.
your cycles?
Yeah, that's where we was at. Yeah, we were talking about
Okay.
that. Yeah, because then we got into
Right.
data
So
collection. But yeah, so
I was just so maybe to finish that up. So do you think that they do use like some type of program that is tracking the cycles of
Absolutely.
the planet?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
or
And
moon
now
at
that and now that
least.
and now that COVID is in play, they have a whole bunch of back data stored up that they can compare to people who have now gotten the shot. So they can take conglomerates of people and say, these people had this type of a cycle for this many years. These people didn't, whatever, whatever, because now they can identify that there is a direct change in the wind direction. You know what I mean? Like, and the other question I think you asked me was, I can't remember it now.
pass the digi to the left hand side.
Anyways, I'll just go on. So we're back to the astrology here. And so today's astrology, it doesn't leave us with terribly different placements, but the sun and the moon are both in Capricorn. So what you're going to be seeing with that is people are going to be really having a clear direction on what they want to accomplish, and they're going to want you to fall in line with that. There's a lot of I'm the boss, you're not the boss, that kind of a back and forth, like power play type of thing. And even people who don't normally act that way could tend to portray those, thoughts and feelings right now. They want to be listened to, they want to be heard, and they also want you to acknowledge that they're possibly right, or that they're doing something better than someone else is. So you're going to kind of see a lot of people asking to be in charge, so to speak. And it may feel irritating or weird to you, but that will pass within about 24 to 48 hours. So you're just going to have to kind of bite the bullet. And people, there's going to be two clear conversation groups: the people that want to get things done and they have an agenda and they have a list, and then there's going to be the people who don't, who don't want to participate in that, but may be forced to, at work or in whatever societal thing they're participating in. Um, it could come off just like very egotistical and very like, I know everything. So that's the kind of mindset that you'll see with groups of people. So just try to keep your own energy to yourself and stay calm and cool and collected, and try to reschedule meetings if you don't feel that they're going to go anywhere or they're not going anywhere. Um, the sun moves a degree every day through the sign, so we have just a few more days left of Capricorn season. But again, Capricorn represents companies, hierarchies, structures, power, things of that nature. So you're going to see all of that kind of being brought up as like good things, just to have it brought down, back down all the way to zero in the coming 30 days after that. So it's a lot of like juxtaposition of up and down, wrong and right. You know, people telling you they know things when they really don't know things because they just want to sound like they know what's going on. And it could cause a rise in people who are emotional or emotionally charged, um, presenting back with, no, I know the things, you don't know the things. So you just want to kind of not engage in that unless you absolutely have to. And the cards kind of support that. With I have the King of Cups here, which is like, emotional information with the cups, and just basically saying, I know what's best, or I know what's right. So just try not to engage with people who are not going to really have your best interest at heart. So this is like a father figure. They can be, smart. They can be an attorney, uh, and anybody that has like leadership roles type of thing could be affected by it. So and they're very charismatic. That's the other thing too, is you might walk away from a situation feeling like, oh, I just got played because I didn't want to do this thing, but they talked me into doing it, and I have to do it by a certain deadline too. And so you might walk away feeling like, oh, this is not what I want to do. So the other card I have is the Lovers. The Lovers represents balance and making a choice. So you might be forced to make a choice to do that. And then the card I have with it is the Ten of Swords, and that basically just has that feeling of, if you did get played, that everything has already happened and you can't come back and revisit it, but you can, just don't do it in the next 24 to 48 hours. So that is what I would say.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds really good. Everybody just do a little stretch.
Logos on the track.
What the fuck going on?
Maximilian off a couple tiny tunes, and I know these busts will be mad. Stuffing bundles in the Gucci duffel, better bend that a bust out the bag. Stack it, flip it, get it back and pivot on your pitch and don't fuck up the stash. Putting pennies on the paddock, petty if you pop and put that on the pad.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
I put the work in to own it, these moments they ain't come for cheap, yeah. They see I'm shining, I'm smelling like diamonds all up in my teeth, yeah.
Hey.
Thank you to go, no, you ain't got my vote, no, I don't agree, yeah. Baby booty moving, got me like sheesh, yeah.
All right. What the fuck Wednesday, man? So yesterday we got into the fuck around and find out element
Yeah.
of searching. We found out about some tunnels and all that shit, and nobody really knows what's going on with that. But I did see that there was another, I guess, set of documents released dealing with this Epstein situation. And there's a lot of big names in this one. And I've noticed, regardless if we want to believe this or not, or like it or not, or whatever it is, I think that they're gearing up to say that Donald Trump is the Doe, or whatever they call it, John Doe, or whatever it is, Doe 174, which is mentioned a ton in there.
Right.
So at first it was Donald Trump's name isn't anywhere, and he's in the clear, and da.
That's so crazy.
But now it's like,
bring
and
that
we
up.
don't even know if that's true. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, they're building
Right.
up for something.
Well, I like that you brung that up, because it was part of my what the fuck. Because I'm like, wasn't Donald Trump, hasn't he been going through a trial recently? What's been going on with that trial? Like, nobody's talked about that. Obviously, all the news.
That's what I was just about to say too.
I know, right? So
Do
that was
we
part of my
actually know if he's in trial for
Well, I'm watching
election?
some shit on Fox. Wait. I'm watching some shit on Fox, right? And Fox, I think it's Fox News. Yes. They're talking about Trump prosecuting would open Pandora's box, right? So this is what they're claiming. They're claiming that the reason why this shit's been drawn out, the reason why the case hasn't fucking, happened how it's supposed to fucking happen is because Trump's like, okay, bitch, if you're gonna get me for anything, I got all y'all niggas. I got Clinton, I got Bush, I got information about this, I got information about that. So you gotta indict Obama, Bush, Clinton, like
Yep.
that's what the fuck he's basically saying for
And
war
then,
crimes and shit.
and meanwhile, Melania Trump's mother just died,
Mhm.
supposedly.
Damn.
And everybody had
Supposedly.
been talking about, well, where's Melania at? She's not around Trump. Obviously, they're divorced. Well, obviously, that was wrong because if what we
Yeah.
just heard was true, then
Right.
she was dealing with her mother about to
Yeah.
die.
But I just thought it
You
was
know what I
just
mean?
wild because it's like, you know what I mean? Like we just he's supposed to be actively in court, right? Like,
He
you know what I'm saying?
he
Like,
he submitted a repeal to whatever court he's in right now
right.
to have the judge changed because apparently the judge has some very political views on him and had been posting them on social media, and somehow they got a hold
That's
of
not
that.
good. Right.
So he's trying to have the
Well,
court
yeah, that's gonna
docket
happen because you
changed.
can't do
So
that shit as a fucking judge.
mhm.
So that's gonna happen. But I just thought it was crazy that, like, okay, so this list comes, the Epstein list is coming out, right? And then he's in here talking, his prosecutors and his lawyers are arguing like if you indict Trump, you know what I'm saying, then you're gonna open up Pandora's box, is the quote unquote what the lawyer fucking said to them. Trump lawyers say they've opened up Pandora's box, and Trump's like, I caught the swamp, we have it all. They've broke the veil. Now I'm allowed to do what has to be done. So we find out things that they don't want us to know. And he was fucking, and they're basically like, okay, and if you indict him, then you're gonna have to indict like 4 or 5 past fucking presidents that they got, that supposedly Trump's, lawyers and Trump's team has information on. And obviously he could have access to that information because he was once president.
Yep. Hey, I got a quick question.
That
Did
shit's
you
some what the
know
fuck,
that
yeah.
did you know that the parking meters fed directly into the temple tunnels?
No.
Mhm. And I just want to say that
This is a joke, but it could be true.
what
Or it's a meme. Or
Oh, okay.
or how about this? So it's a New York City cop. So just think about a New York City cop. And then he
With that
says,
spirit top.
you should see the piles of quadas they got back there. Just think about that though. Think about all of the
Yeah, that's
toll
fucking
booths
wild
or
if they
the
went
parking meters.
to the fuck.
so yesterday
Oh,
we talked a little bit
jeez.
about that stuff that was going on in
Mm-hmm.
the temple there, and I kind of meditated on it last night because I was like, we didn't really come to any specific conclusion other than we don't really know what's going on. And this is what I kind of got from my meditation. If you go back and you look at the video, the people who are ripping that side wall apart and pulling all that stuff out, they are the parishioners of that temple. It isn't the police who's doing
Right,
it, it's
right.
them. And it to me seems like they got a tip off that something was going to happen or come in, and they were trying to remove or destroy
Evidence.
evidence. And that is why the police officer was filming inside of it, to try to support that claim that was going to be being made in the future. So because none of the police were ripping that stuff out, ripping
Yeah, they
those
was just
mattresses
kind
out.
of just
It was all
controlling,
them,
trying to
and
control the
they
crowd.
were trying to like break as much stuff as possible in the time of doing it, which is kind of an unusual act. You really wouldn't want to
Behavior.
go inside your church and like tear it up like that.
Destroy things, yeah.
So that's what came to me throughout that process.
Yeah.
And they were so busy destroying things that they really weren't paying attention to who was filming what and what was, directly coming
Right.
from that. So that's kind
Right.
of the thing. And then also my guides told me that throughout the last 3 years with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff going on, um, which was overlaid by COVID. Exactly. If you look at the timing of it, if you put the two calendars together, they're almost exactly the same timelines. Um, that they now have put in police departments, police forces, and handbooks that they follow when they're investigating cases, they have now put tunnel seeking inclusions into that. So they have to go, if they're investigating a claim or they're investigating a building or an area, that they, even if it's not for like the purpose of finding someone or uncovering a body, that they have to determine whether the property has underground tunnels on it for future work.
Damn.
So I just wanted to put that out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I did see a video and it had sound to it, audio, and you can definitely tell people talking or hear people talking.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
so
they were screaming in Hebrew though too. There
yeah,
was some Hebrew being
it
yelled.
sounds like it seems like to me, after watching it more times, it seems like it's actually a real video.
Yeah, it does.
Um,
It
And
does.
our biggest mistake as a people, especially in this country, is that we don't know Latin and then we don't know Hebrew. So we
Right.
are left out in the cold in a lot of situations where we could
And then,
possibly
yeah.
know what's going on.
but
Well,
you know what though?
we're put in a
I got an
position where there's
AI
a
on my phone.
translate. Yeah, yeah.
I
We
got
can
an
get it
AI on my phone to
translated.
translate everything,
Uh,
but not everybody's got that. So
Yeah,
whatever.
but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like that should be programmed too, because like they've even like if you go and ask your AI or whatever the definition of certain words, like shit, they've already changed the definition so that when the AI goes to give you that answer, it's already programmed with the wrong fucking answer. You know what I mean? Like the definition of vaccine is already changed. You know what I mean?
It is.
Like that shit's fucking wild. You know what I mean? So it's just like that's why I know it was like, man, there's so much shit that could just be fake. And then, like I said, if you go and actually look up the Unreal 5 engine and you can see a motherfucker walking through a tunnel, you know what I mean? Like they have a video and it's completely AI generated of a person supposedly walking through the tunnel, and then the perspective is filmed as in like he's holding his phone. You know what I mean? Not saying that was like a New York tunnel or whatever, but it was just a rendering of to show what their technology is capable of fucking doing. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, hey, look what we're able to do. And it's like, can you tell if this is real or fake? And then you fucking looking at it and you're like, I can't tell the difference. It looks like really just a high def, camera phone catching, somebody walking through fucking alleyway in Venice, Italy or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all it really looks like.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you mean when you start fucking breaking that shit down, it is kind of scary. But yeah, that video in particular, though, it did look like it has some, some realness to it. So even if there was some parts that were not real, the original video does seem like it was like real people and shit in the video. You know what I mean? So I was doing some more research about that too. But as far as it being illegal, you know what I mean? Like obviously, if they don't own underground of those buildings, so the police would stop some shit like that. So like,
Well, fuck, man, you gotta have permits to do shit like that. You dig a motherfucking hole or a tunnel under somebody's shit and it collapses and kills, 1,000 people or whatever.
Right, you right.
It just, it's like.
And then sometimes some people were claiming that those tunnels were there before.
And I was about to say that too. Them tunnels are probably already there, bro. Think about who ran New York City for so long. The mobs.
They had an exit sign on one of them. Did you see that? It's like a full-blown installed light exit sign.
Yep.
Yep. And then it's like, honestly, I mean, until we dive into it more, I guess me myself, like I don't know when this shit actually happened.
Yeah, that too.
It could have happened last year for a fucking all I know.
It is cold. It is cold in New York. And all of the people that are outside, you don't really see any of them wearing
no smoke coming out their mouth,
Yeah.
no big jack. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, no.
That's because that's why I thought it might have been AI, because I was like,
well, no, I've
this
seen
shit
shit
just don't match up because they're just sitting here moving around. They ain't really doing that. They're just moving around.
I've seen old videos come back to life all of a sudden too. Like I don't know if like it was another timeline shift, if CERN pulled another fucking clash of the universe or some shit. But now all of a sudden those videos that, remember I was telling y'all about it in the Twitter spaces, like I specifically saved videos back in the day of 9/11 where there was explosions without any planes. Like I remember these videos vividly. Now they're back. Now they're back on the internet. They were gone from the internet for how many fucking years, and now they're back on the fucking internet. Like it's
Yep.
fucking wild. You know what I mean? So it's like old videos have been surfacing. A lot of old videos have been resurfacing and being used as new video footage. Oh, we just found this civilians video of the 9/11 attack. Like, oh, you just found this
Yeah,
shit? Like,
we
get the
just
fuck
found
out of
it.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I've seen that shit years ago. You know what I mean? So you're right though. So I feel you. It could have been some old shit. Them niggas could have been busted, years ago on some fuck shit that we know about. Some shit that we seen on television. Like we could have
Yeah.
actually seen that
Well,
years ago.
so just saying what I read, one of the rabbis that either are at that synagogue or used to be admitted to doing weird shit with a 5-year-old little girl and was actually charged with a low level, some type of sexual assault on minors type things.
Yeah.
But the thing is that synagogue is tied in with the judge that gave the sentence.
Wow.
It's almost like a Freemason telling another Freemason you're in trouble. That doesn't happen.
All judges and police officers and all of those are all clergy or all Freemasons.
Oh my
All of
gosh.
it.
No, but I
what,
was just
guys?
talking about
Yeah.
the
Go ahead.
the religion, the Jewish religion,
Yeah.
which would be the Judean,
Judaism,
which would be like, I mean, they might be associated with fucking Freemasons also, but I was just using that as an example. It's like,
well, like a lot of people don't understand like that book, the Quran, or not the Quran, but the what is it?
The Talmud?
The Torah, or
Okay, the Torah is the Jewish book, yeah.
Right. That book is literally just the first 7 or 8 books of the Old Testament. Like a lot of people really think that book is different from like the Holy Bible. Like I don't understand how like Christians and you know what I'm saying, people who study Judaism even have a beef with each other, because I mean, well, I guess you can get it because most of the Christians are New Testament and they don't believe in a lot of the New Testament. But I'm just saying, like they're literally
think about
reading
this.
the same text, though. You know what I mean?
How many Christians that go to church every Sunday read any other book besides
the New Testament? Right? Not no more. I used to.
They don't even. How many people actually have the time or the will or want to actually go and read something else and see if it proves what they believe in wrong?
Right.
Nobody wants to do that.
Shit, I did. It was a boring read, like especially if you want to like find out like who's dad and whose dad was whose dad and whose grandparents. Like you got to read like Numbers and Deuteronomy, and like the whole fucking book is Joseph and so begot so and those people begot these people and these people. But like the whole fucking book is just so who begot who. So who fucking had sex to make who, and it basically traces the lineage all the way. You know what I mean? It's trying to trace the lineage all the way back. So it's a motherfucking it's a like a really hard read. Like that Old Testament, besides like Genesis and Exodus, the rest of that shit is fucking boring. It's just telling you who begot who, is basically telling you the bloodline, who's the bloodline, who begot who, and then how you're supposed to behave. But like that's it. Like besides Exodus and Genesis, the other two, that's the only exciting or dramatic parts of the fucking whole book. Well, the book that they read, but it's just wild to know that, because a lot of people do not know. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people do not know that book isn't different from the Old Testament. You know what I mean? And when you guys were talking about some what the fuck shit, I know we might not have all the time that we want to take.
Oh, we got all the time we need now because that meeting just got canceled again. So anyway,
all right. Well, then I had another what the fuck, because you guys were talking about the judges and the police and shit. Well, I didn't know that there's actually there's a woman. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you her name in just a fucking second. What the fuck is her name? Her name is Cerise Cerise Castle. Cerise is how you say her or spell her first name. And she's a reporter who's been reporting on the sheriff gangs in LA. and she's actually uncovered that there are 17 individual gangs inside of the LAPD department alone.
Hmm.
And
I thought there was 25, but okay.
yeah, well, I'm just saying she's gotten evidence of 17. Not
They're
saying that
all white supremacist gangs, right?
well, not all of them. Like, I mean, like some of them, I don't know, man.
Well,
Like, see, it's just
I
I
figured they
can't.
were because,
No, some of
you
them
know,
are because one of them is called
well, I
like
just figured, most like white men are the problem for everything. So I just assumed.
no, because there's black cops. There's
Exactly.
yeah, there's
God damn, these people are so fucking weird, man.
and it's
I
just like
mean,
they don't care what color you are. You can join the fucking police gang if you're part of their brotherhood.
right?
That's a different gang. You know what I mean? But inside of that blue gang, you know what I mean? You have gangs that like operate like by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like so there is one that's called the executioners, right? And I guess like to be a part of the executioners, you have to kill a civilian, but they don't. It's not like you have to kill a black civilian or you have to kill a. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you have to kill a civilian. Like that's how you get initiated into the gang. And she's uncovered cases where they, there was two cops who were getting initiated to that gang, and they got caught. That would being their initiation process, and they both snitched and shit. So like they snitched on their fucking gang, their fellow gang members. So and then there's like a couple other ones like the you know what I mean. There's like I don't know. I can't remember. They just had some generic ass names. You know what I mean? Like most of them were just like the executioners, the grease monkeys, the this, the that. You know what I mean? And all of them really were just different kind of fucking sheriff gangs inside that shit. You know what I mean? But like I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was that deep. I thought the blue gang was just their own gang in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, but I didn't know like it goes as far as. But it
Shit,
would make
man.
sense though, because it would break down the fraternity wise though, right? Because these judges, they mostly be part of these fraternities. There's a lot of biker clubs and shit out on the West Coast and shit like that, right?
Hmm.
Why wouldn't we think that they wouldn't adopt that style of you know what I'm saying of operating, because they have to
Mhm.
fucking combat that style of criminal.
Well, it's just like the military.
Yeah.
Like I know
Facts.
people that's been over to Iraq and Afghanistan and Kuwait City and all these different places, and they say, "Man, I saw MS-13 spray painted all over the barracks, all over the places, or and like Bloods, Crips, GDs,
Yeah.
Vice Lords, Latin King, all of these gangs." And it's like, damn, bro, it's like, but if you think about it, only this is not a shot at nobody, but only poor people or people that need money or need a career go into the military. It's
Right.
not people, the majority of people that grow up wanting to go into the military do that because their dad, mom, or
Okay, great.
granddad or
I
something
was
like
just
that
about to
did.
say that. Yep.
But other than that, it's like
Yeah,
they
there is
come to the high school,
there is
they
a
go to the
family
mall,
lineage of it.
right?
Yeah.
And the staff sergeants, which are the recruiters, get up in there and they go to the schools, they go to the malls, they go to all these places, and they just get people and talk to them and this and that, and then this majority of it is in small towns that they
Right.
recruit people, or in areas that
Right.
are
Or the
Well, I mean,
Rust
it
Belt.
just goes to
less
support. It just goes to support as well, like because like there was a narrative that a lot of people don't understand this narrative because
like who
people.
becomes a cop is what I'm getting at.
Right. I get what you're saying because and what's
Like,
crazy is that
are you gonna be a police officer because you're gonna make a lot of money? No.
who
No.
became a gang member. You see what I mean? Like there was a reason why gang members were, if you want to say the neo to the Agent K or Agent Smith, you know what I'm saying? Fucking type of thing. Like if you got a gang of motherfuckers, right? And some of these gangs do go back that far, you know what I mean? Like they go back to the 60s and 70s, like some of these gangs in the LAPD. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have literally, gangs, whether they're white supremacist gangs or whatever kind of fucking gang it is, government gang coming into your hood, stealing your money, stealing your drug money, stealing your fucking prostitute money, and doing all of this shit. I mean, then other gangs started getting created. Like that's where you got the Crips and the Bloods from, was people trying to protect their own fucking neighborhoods against, the LAPD, which it's been proven to have like its own individual sectors of gangs inside of it. And when I did, like I said, I just didn't know it was that deep. I thought like they kind of moved all at once. But then if you think about it, they do, but they have separate entities. So like they have a right hand and a left hand. You know what I mean? If they need some illegal shit done, like these motherfuckers will literally go
Well,
to that
think about
gang
it
inside
too.
of the it's fucking
If you're
wild,
going to have
bro.
undercover police officers for the
Right.
Los Angeles Police Department, if every one of them are white, you ain't going to get too far.
Hell no.
You
'Cause
got to
right,
have
right.
black, green,
Latino,
yellow,
niggas,
all
you
different
gonna
types
need
of
you gonna
colors.
need hella
That way they
Latino
can blend
ones.
in and
Mhm.
actually go be undercover. Because if a
Yeah.
white guy dressed like he ain't a cop walks into a neighborhood, everybody's gonna look at this motherfucker and be like, he's either a crackhead or a cop.
Well, and they also need to recruit them right out of high school so they have that
Facts.
look that they're young and that they
Yeah.
don't look like they have a beer belly and they're
Mhm.
27 and be
Yeah.
sitting at a desk all day.
Believe
Yeah.
me, I see these damn feds all the time where I live
Me
at because they
too.
got this
Me too,
training
man.
center, and I can spot them out, bro,
Oh
every
fuck, bro!
fucking
You can
time.
smell them, bro. Like it's like okay, like it's like they're tryhards. They're
Yeah,
literally
they use
try
all
too
that
hard.
goddamn Axe body spray for one. You
The-
damn
but
sure smell them
You
motherfuckers.
damn sure, but they also have this fucking this fucking stance about them. Like you know the stance that you have when you're prepared for anything to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like even if you're standing in public somewhere, just trying to be
It's a
comfortable.
mom stance.
Yeah, it's like a it's like a vibe almost too.
Yeah, it's
like,
a
and
mom
you,
stance.
and then
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at them, it's like, man, bro, like chill. You if you can't be completely relaxed, and a lot of people who've been in situations, they can see when people just ain't completely relaxed. You know what I mean? But but I just didn't think like you know what I mean. It was like that fucking deep where it was like there's literally gangs inside of the gang.
Well, yeah, the gang
Do-
unit in the police department is what you're saying. It's what you're talking about. It's
Right.
an enforced gang inside the police department that
Right,
is
and
structured exactly the same way.
you're not going to be on the gang force if you haven't had real experience
Mhm.
with gang members.
Yeah.
It just don't work like that. They can't take a square and turn him into a circle.
Right.
It don't happen like that. You usually have had multiple interactions with the police before you become a gang enforcement. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
got to know how to talk, how to dress, how to move, and then your history has to support that also. You
Yeah.
can't just be dumped off in a situation and be like, "Oh yeah, here's your story." Da, 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 that's gonna work. Nah, I'm not gonna
Nah.
check on your ass.
Nah, but it's just like okay, so when they want some shit done, like they need somebody taken out, you know what I mean, or whatever the fuck it might be. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they got somebody who's threatening the LAPD that could fuck some shit up or some shit. You know, they literally got some niggas called the fucking Terminators or whatever, the executioners or whatever the fuck. And these motherfuckers, that's what they do. And if these motherfuckers will go and recruit some young officers who trying to be a part of the gang, like I said, this thing color ain't got shit to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And these niggas will go and have them murk somebody just to get in the gang, and then they just cover it all up. Like, but it's like a whole bunch of them though. You know what I mean? Like Megawatt said, it's like 25. You know what I mean? This woman's only got evidence of 17, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that if there's
You gotta
17,
have your
then there's-
loyalty tested too.
yeah,
it's
you
like,
do have to have your. But
you
then
gotta
it
see.
explains why, right? It explains why you've seen all of these black people getting shot and all of these civilians, quote unquote, getting shot by the police, and nobody goes to jail or nothing happens to niggas. And then you even see the black cops standing right next to the white cops while the shit's fucking happening, and they don't snitch. They don't be like, "Oh yeah, that wasn't
Yep.
that wasn't
But
unnecessary."
then the only videos that were shown is the ones of white cops shooting black
Right.
people. We don't get to see no videos of black people shooting
Oh no,
black
wait,
people or
it
black
was
people shooting
we
white
got the
people.
one though, right? And he got off. It was the one black cop shot that white lady, and he got off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
Because-
it's like there's probably 10,000 more cases like that, but they only show you one to piss somebody off.
oh yeah, for sure.
They're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna piss all these white people off. Watch, and also we're gonna piss the black people off. Watch." Well, what do you mean by that? Oh, we're gonna show a black cop shoot a white woman, and he's gonna get off.
Yep.
And then we're gonna flip the whole shit and show a white cop shoot a black dude, and he's gonna get off.
Yep. And then we gonna
But think about it.
put
What area got burnt the fuck down? It wasn't the area that the black cop shot the white woman.
right.
And so then
That
when
was a
white
big
people
area.
or other people see that, they're like, well, look at how this the same thing every time. Something happens, black people go out and start stealing and looting and robbing. But they don't show you the white people that
Yep,
stealing and looting and
yep.
robbing.
Or
And they also don't show you the black cop that just killed
or they
somebody
don't show
and
you
got
the
off.
group of motherfuckers who dropped off drop off a load of bricks on a corner during a protest just so
Nope.
motherfuckers would want to throw bricks at each other. Like they
No.
don't tell you about none of that.
Or they
shit,
don't.
You know what I mean?
They also don't tell you that, you know, the guy in the neighborhood with all the dope, he is literally good friends with the fucking sheriff.
Right.
And as long as he plays ball and lets the sheriff know what's going on in the streets, then the sheriff can do a really good job by busting this person over here and this person over here. But the dope never stops flowing.
Never.
And how not? Because the goddamn dude that's friends with the sheriff doesn't got a pass. He's still sitting straight.
Well,
And the
that's
sheriff will
because
even tell him,
that's
hey,
because the
hold
sheriff-
off on that dope.
That's
and we're
because
going
the
to cause a
sheriff
drought.
exactly because the sheriff is friends with the FBI, and the FBI is like, yeah, we got all this dope, and the CIA is like, yeah, we just busted fucking cartel members over here. Let's put the dope over here. And they're like, okay, bet.
Don't
So
forget
then-
the military.
Oh yeah, so it goes all the way that far back. So that's crazy. If you trace that shit all the way, bro, like ain't like, and then that's why this fuck in the middle of the United States, Omaha, Nebraska is the worst fucking place. You know what I mean? Drug wise, you know what I mean? When it comes to addicted humans, you know what I'm saying? Addicted
Yep.
humans on fentanyl and narcotics is right there, and the only way
'Cause
that
we
it
could-
happens is
We
just
can
how
sit
we
here
explain
and make excuses, and we can say,
Yeah.
oh, you know, it's not the people's fault. It's just the drugs are being pushed on them. Nah, come on now. Everybody here knows that you can either choose to do drugs, and then you're gonna have to live that life, or you could choose to not do drugs and not live that life. They just make it extremely easy and accessible for anybody, any color, to get the
Hell yeah.
drugs.
Hmm
And when you drop the drugs off into an area to where it's broke and there's not as much money, that doesn't matter, because I could take you to some rich areas and ain't nothing but rich kids. Well, their parents are rich, and these motherfuckers are living in the goddamn basement because the kid won't do
me tell
shit
you
but
something.
dope.
Let me tell you something.
It
I've
doesn't
lived
matter
in
about
the
the
hood.
color or the class.
I've seen more dope.
Honestly.
I've seen more dope in fucking Jackson Township than I've seen in Canton, Ohio. How about that? Like, and like I said, that just because it got more money. It's a place got way more money. You know what I mean? Like when you see dope around the hood, you don't see a nigga with birds. You don't see that nigga. You got that nigga.
some
Yeah,
bags,
bro.
some
You got
baggies,
some
some
baggies. Like you don't see the nigga with the birds. Nobody knows the nigga with the birds. You understand? Nobody knows who that is. They might have seen one or two. Like, oh, that's one or two birds, you know what I'm saying? But they've never seen no kilos like how these niggas be getting busted with. Like, we don't know them niggas. Nobody knows them niggas. I've seen, nigga, there was a nigga who got busted down the street from us. Remember that shit? Motherfucker had like, it was like 3 summers ago. Motherfucker had 100 pounds of weed, but then he also had like fucking 100 pounds of fucking some dope. He had guns and everything, right? But that's why he got fucking fucked up, because you know when you start dealing with other shit other than some bud.
I was about to
then
say,
it
he would have
really
stuck with the weed. He would have been
yeah,
good.
he'd have been all right. He'd have been all right, but he was greedy, and they bust his ass, and he sat him down. But who knew this nigga? I didn't know this nigga. I'm asking. Canton is 32,000 strong, right? Everybody
Right.
know everybody, and everybody's probably a cousin of somebody in some form or fashion. If you
And
the
just
same
all of a
fucking
sudden,
race.
this dude just
All
pops
of a
out
sudden,
of nowhere with
yes,
just the man.
who was this nigga with 100 fucking key? Get the fuck out of here!
It's
And
like that
100
story
people-
that white boy Rick, if you ever familiarized yourself with that story. So supposedly a 15-year-old white guy was supplying all of Detroit
Right,
during that
right,
time. Like, come
right.
on, man.
I heard
Come
that
on
story.
now. Shit. I'm over here Eminem. Eminem ain't even Eminem. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was just wild.
What's up, Mupp?
My bad,
Uh
bro.
oh, Mupp got mad, boy. He wouldn't let him talk. Mupp, you there? Okay, I thought you left.
You can come up, man. My bad. You can, you just gotta just jump in there with us,
I-
man. You just gotta.
What up,
what
Mupp? How you
happened
doing, man?
was I had
There it goes. What
I had
happened
took
was there it
a
goes.
phone call, and when I came back, my sound was depleted, so I had to go off and come
Oh,
back
okay.
so my sound could come back.
It's all good.
I heard
Oh,
the
cool.
phone call.
What's up with you?
Let me say this really quick,
What up, Mupp?
guys. One of the reasons why just cats out of nowhere show up in the neighborhood and they be the guy with the bricks is simply because they work for the
Facts. That's
establishment.
exactly what we
Think
say.
about this. Think about this. Sammy the Bull Gravano had to work for the establishment because he took the whole mafia down.
Facts.
Alpo took the whole Washington D.C. down.
Facts.
Like and guess what? Everybody around him got life or better in the
Facts.
death sentence, and he only got 25 years. So the thing about it is, the reason why we see a lot of the dope in the wealthy neighborhoods is because it's the wealthier kids that do it, and they come to the inner city to get it. See, think about this. The reason why the drugs are sold in the inner city is because there are no livable wage jobs in
but
the inner city.
that's the old
So-
school way, though. The new school way is the dope's everywhere.
Yep. And
It is
and that's
because
the
it's
doctors-
transported.
That's because the drugstore ain't just your plug on the corner of the street no more. You got a Davies Drugs on the corner. You got a Rite Aid. You got a Walgreens.
Yep.
These niggas is selling drugs too now. The
Exactly.
government.
That's
Well,
what I'm
they
saying.
always sold
Oh
drugs.
yeah, for sure.
They all listen. It's not a new school way. Don't you know that
It's new for
as
them to
as
sell
early
weed.
as
That's
the
what they doing
contract?
now. They selling weed now, but that's new.
Oh, they just legalized
Yeah.
it, so they don't even have it no more. Because we can open up a weed distillery. We can open them
but
up.
at the same time, they gon' it's still some bullshit when it comes to.
They gonna
all
tax
the-
it.
Yeah, oh, it's come on, man. They just on some bullshit. It's just.
They already chose who they're gonna let
Yeah.
do that.
Put it like that.
Believe
Like, there's
me,
so
we
many
already
people
tried to
who
buy a
are-
building. We tried to do the whole shit.
We just gotta
That's
wait
about-
till they open up the market more, because what they want all the rich people's money first, and they gonna get that, and then you know what I mean. The second round gonna be motherfuckers like who were locked up for selling pounds of weed. They gonna give them niggas a shot, but a lot of them niggas ain't gonna file the right paperwork to be able to get there
Because they don't even trust the situation in general.
Exactly. So
Think about it. You're gonna be a felon, and you really gonna give somebody. First of all, you got to come up with the amount of money. You're gonna give somebody $120,000 on the strength of,
that's a
like, when they could just say
$80,000
they could just take your money.
Right.
They could just take
Right.
your money and dust you the fuck off after that.
Yep. Because
But you know what's crazy? They need to pay felons
they do.
who became felons on the back of marijuana after
They
they
do. But
legalized
what's
it.
so crazy?
They need
listen,
to pay them.
even white people's getting, like, there's certain people, it's a certain type of person. It's not even necessarily black people, right? Because it was this dude called the Santa Claus of weed, right? And he would literally give people weed. Like, that was his thing around the holidays. They locked that man up for damn near life. You know what I mean? He's an older dude. He's an old dude already. But they locked this nigga up for, like, they still ain't let him out, and weed is legal in Ohio now. Like, how you gonna let a nigga who was giving people weed away? You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily a white or black thing. It's just a certain type of individual. They don't want to have that type of influence in their area.
You know what they don't want to do?
Power.
They don't want to be seen as being wrong
That too.
for putting those people in prison. They don't see if I put you in prison for jaywalking,
Yep.
and jaywalking is legal in my state look bad for locking you up for that.
Yup. Yeah, it's a way to save face. They try to clean it up a little bit, but they haven't. In New York, especially, right? It was like that was like the first part of their bill was like they were supposed to give all of the felons the first shot at opening these dispensaries. But the problem is that they create a system to where if you don't have the information, right? How are they gonna do it? They're like, oh yeah, we gave them all the opportunity, but none of them niggas got the paperwork. You didn't email them niggas. They had to go and find this paperwork, and they had to go and find all of the loopholes and all of the shits that they
And
had the hoop. They had to find the hoops. They didn't
But
even give the niggas the hoops to jump.
America,
They had to find them.
do you know America only keep repeating itself?
Oh yeah.
That's just like when they freed the slaves and
Yeah.
didn't give them nothing to
Right.
work
And
with.
it made
How
it
you
illegal
free
to
and you
be
ain't got a
homeless.
doubt?
Now how you
You
gonna make it illegal to
know,
be homeless, nigga?
at a
well,
time when you got the worst homeless crisis in
Right.
America. See, yo, America is a backwards ass
It
place, and
is.
we always try to say Republicans and Democrats. Both of them are corrupt. Neither one of them ain't
You're
shit.
absolutely
no.
right, bro. And
But here's the thing too. Even if you got a building, and even if you had a supplier, and even if you set up shop, did you know there's special banking regulations
yes.
for weed-based businesses,
Yes.
and they require special
Mm-hmm.
oversight and
Yep.
regulations. So you can't just, even if you had everything lined up and in the book,
You
if you
can't even keep your money
to
safe.
have in order to run the business, you might be told no
Yep.
because
You
they
can't
don't
even
have
keep
any
your money
open
safe.
memberships.
Well,
Yeah.
yep, and then because they haven't gotten that safe banking shit all the way figured out yet, like, and that's not all the way implemented yet. So it's like, where you gonna keep all of this money? And that's the reason why they're fucking lagging their feet as well in Ohio, because they're like, damn, where we gonna keep all this money? If we fucking start letting these niggas open up dispensaries right now in Ohio, right now at this tomorrow, and be like, all right, you know what I mean? We're accepting applications. We got the first 250. We're accepting more right now, and they open up the floodgates. Bro, there'll be so much fucking people who would have to fucking store their money in their houses that the kick in the door rate was going to go skyrocket, because that's exactly what happened in Colorado, because people were literally buying houses and stashing their money in their houses because they didn't have nowhere to keep the money they were making from selling weed, because the banks wouldn't fucking take it. The federal banks won't take their fucking money, and that's going
You
to be a
know what's
problem as well.
crazy? If you want to curb the population and have population control, all you got to do is create scenarios such as these so that people can start killing each other. Do you know, if I know that you got 150,000 in the stash house, I'm coming. If I'm that type of individual, I'm coming to see you. So that's what they want. America need. It's almost like that Purge movie. They having a purge, but they gotta have
Yeah,
participants.
yeah. See, and that's what, and you're right, man. All we gotta do is, like, if we would, look at the situation for really what it is. But you're right, though. They create that type of situation and call it capitalism. But at the end, it's really, they got control over it all. None of it's really free capitalism, and I think that's been the fucking big issue of it at all. Like, because capitalism can, okay. Nova said he hold it beginning his work because Podbean just so great. So damn Podbean, my nigga can't leave the room to get some water. It's always his mic always cut. He be back. But
That just
What
happened
up?
to
What
me
up?
though, Jason. Remember I told you I
yeah.
answered the phone and my mic was cut.
Yeah, I'm on the computer though, so it ain't got nothing to do with no phone
Yeah.
ringing. It's just Podbean in general. They just a bunch of bullshit, just like everybody else.
You guys are call
Period.
anybody out. Y'all some cocaine cowboys.
Well,
for
shit.
real.
Shit, if you pay $550 fucking for a motherfucking
Yeah.
platform to work and the bitch don't work, what you supposed to do?
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, we pay for the good shit.
I got a motherfucking $2,500 fucking MacBook in front of me and a fucking $500 fucking mic in front of me and the goddamn
So,
Podbean.
so
the
with
one
y'all
that don't
premium
work.
podcast,
Yeah.
premium pod beamers,
Yes, sir.
Premium
that's
everything.
what's up.
We got to. At least until we get everybody that we need to get, and then we can do our own website, and then we don't need nobody but ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Get completely
Exactly.
sovereign. But that's the solution for a lot of shit really right now. But like the what the fuck Wednesday, man, has been another fucking banger for you guys.
Yep. Well, I was gonna say
I
I was trying.
yeah,
I didn't know that y'all
gonna
couldn't hear
add. Go
me. I
ahead.
was just
Yeah, we
just
couldn't hear
talking
you.
away. But I was
Yeah.
just gonna say when this stupid ass thing wouldn't let me talk. But I was going to say, as soon as those people figured out, those real estate agents figured out that I was trying to buy the building with
Yes.
cash,
Right.
not like going to a bank to get a loan. But when they
Mhm.
were like, I was like, no, I'm not getting a loan. This is cash. And then they asked a few other questions. They already knew what was going on. So they wouldn't even sell me the building because
Nope.
they knew that the shit was finna pop off in Ohio. And this was a
Right.
That's
year
why you
before it
Well,
have
they,
happened or
to
whatever.
get a pre-qualify, get a loan, and then pay the loan off. That's the step around
well,
for
it was it's like it was kind of just like this. Like, so we was like
It didn't matter if I was going to get a loan or not, though.
right,
They just
right.
didn't want
They
to sell the
it was
building
like
because it was
this.
in a good location for this thing to
Well, it
happen.
was
And
it
obviously somebody
was
already had plans for it.
yeah. Well, it was like this, Mega Wild. You know how that feeling that you get where it's like when motherfuckers is looking at you like, yeah, right.
Mhm.
You ain't got fucking $80,000
That's why you
to
gotta
buy this
send
bitch right
moms
now.
in to do the work
Yeah,
for
you
you.
gotta send your
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, and I thought about that, like, man, I should have had my wife. I should have just wrote up a little something
Yep.
for her to say.
Yep.
But you know, me and Nova talked about it. Nova was like, nah, I want you to be the liaison and talk to this dude, and this is what we gonna do. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I went and I talked to him and shit. And I'm like, all right, well, at first they wanted like, you know, so many, you know, like 89, and I'm like 89. I'm like, this, you know, this bitch is worth only like, he like, yeah, that's the whole point. If you if you just give him 80, then he's only gonna get what he paid for it out of it. And it's like, well, shit, that's not my fault. You know what I mean? He should have fucking did
They should
something
have
with it.
fixed it up.
Yeah, he should have. Well, it wasn't really nothing wrong with it. The only thing we needed to work on would be the basement. It had a new roof and everything. But this is Ohio. It's Canton, Ohio, and it was in the art district. The building was in the art district. But that's what I'm saying. They're like, so it's like what you have down on it. It's like, well, like, nigga, we got 20 bands down on it right now. Like, we tell them we give them 20 bands down on it right now, type shit. And then motherfuckers come back and be like, well, we kind of, you know, wanted, so like, and it's like, what do
If
you mean?
we
Like,
we
what's
could go ahead
what?
and
Like,
start the
telling,
paperwork, but we need to know where the
right.
money's coming from. I said the money's coming
It was
from
like,
my pocket.
no, I said, it's my partner, right? I was like, I got a partner. He was like, who's your partner? I was like, I have a silent business partner. Doesn't matter who the fuck he is, bitch. Like,
No,
it
it's
don't
the money
matter who.
legal.
Right.
It does now. Is Jeffrey Epstein's a part of the storyline?
You know what I mean? And I'm like, because I mean, but when it comes to shit like that, these motherfuckers take these other motherfuckers' money all the time. But then it was just like, well, you have a business partner. It's like, yeah, I have a business partner, and we got the cash. So it's like, you know what I mean? Okay, well, it's like, it doesn't matter where the fucking bread is coming from. It's coming from a bank account, bitch. It's gonna come from one bank account to your bank account. Simple as that. Well, we need 89 flat. Like, nah, bitch. Okay, so now you just trying to make another 10 bands off of motherfuckers. Really,
And
is like
then
all it is.
and then when we were like, all right, let's just run it then. And then they
Right.
wouldn't even do it.
Right. Yep.
And see where I'm at. I'm telling Jason, I'm like, bro, $89,000 for a fucking commercial building to own it. Like,
Yeah.
let's buy it today.
Yeah.
Because where I'm at, you can't even buy the shit. You got to rent it because the shit's so motherfucking. It ain't that somebody can't afford it. There's plenty of people with money and can get loans and stuff, but
And I'm
the
like,
value of the
just
property
to
is
get the
so
motherfucker
high
to
that nobody's going to sell it to you because they can rent it for $10, $12,
right,
$20,000
just
a
to get
month.
the motherfuckers to like talk to us was almost like I had to bully these niggas.
Because
Like,
you weren't using the right language.
probably not. You know what I mean? Like, I literally had to be like, yo, I'm sitting in front of your building and I got $20,000 down. I want to look at it. Okay, we're sending somebody out now. Like, why do I have to bully you bitches? I've left you 3 fucking messages for you to call me back and set up for me to look at this motherfucking place. But I gotta fucking call you and be like, I'm sitting in front of this bitch. I got 20 bands down. How much is it? What's the details? For you to come out and talk to me? Like, it was
So
a
that's
pain
just
in my
proof,
ass on. Yeah,
like
well, they just didn't
Megawatt
want to sell
said,
it
that's
to us.
just
Yeah.
proof that they're not going to sell it to somebody.
Nope.
It's going to
Nope.
have to
You're
be a
not part of the
corporate
club.
situation.
It's a
Right.
big club, and you ain't
And
in it.
that's why everybody that's going, ooh, legalize marijuana. Yeah, keep on saying that shit. Just remember
It's
though,
cool and all, but it's not. They not
it
about
ain't
to
gonna
open
it
the
ain't gonna be like you
floodgates.
think.
Yeah, not at first. And it's so crazy because I know a couple politicians around here that I went to school with who's politicians in these fucking districts out here. I think my district is ran by a fucking distant cousin on my dad's side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's up? You know, I've met couple of them because I've done music, because I've done fashion shows, I've done a whole bunch of shit in this fucking city, and I've met our local politicians. I've shook hands with the mayor. I've met ex-mayors because my wife's people and all of that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just nuts to be like, these motherfuckers got this shit set up so fucking hardcore, but you know they're only looking out for their people. You know what I mean? And that's why I be like, people like, don't take it the wrong way when motherfuckers be like, nah, I'm looking out for my crew. You know what I mean? I'm looking out for my people. I'm looking out for my people, because that's
Yeah.
exactly what all the government and everybody who gets in the position of
That's
power
why
is all they're fucking doing.
the system is definitely not broke.
No, it ain't broke. You just gotta
It's
learn how to
operating
move.
perfectly. It's oiled up. It's had its transmission fluid flushed and replenished.
Yeah,
This son of a bitch is in here.
right, bro. In here, bro. You talking about there's a gang of police and there's 17 gangs inside of one police department in LA.
25.
25, sorry, 17
Right?
with evidence that I found. But you know, like I said, some of them probably you just ain't gonna know about. Some of them's like you ain't gonna find no evidence on. Some of them you will. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that I'm sure there's another 5 to 10 of them motherfuckers that you just might not ever fucking know about, and they run the whole shit. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, you fuck around and find out a lot of shit, and then you ask yourself, what the fuck? So it's really like, to me, I've been, more concerned about what the fuck's been going on in our own country, other than what they've been trying to tell us. Because like all I see all day long across all of the fucking news and constant stream and all this shit is just Israel and Palestine, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine,
Think about like
fucking, and it's just.
think
I'm
about
more
if
focused on what's
everybody,
happening with us.
if your neighbors were in the next neighborhood over, if they were like, hey, we need a donation, and you were like, well, for what? And then everybody on your street was like, for what? Like, what do you need a donation for? And the other neighborhood, well, we need stuff to be able to clean our house with, and we need groceries, we need money for the light bill, the Wi-Fi. We actually need somebody to pay our rent also. We need our renter's insurance paid. Matter of fact, our car insurance, it just keeps going. And even though you got a whole street of people, everybody looks at themselves and they're like, well, damn, my shit's due too, though.
Yep.
I got to pay all of that same shit too. What's wrong with this person? And then why does your whole neighborhood hate you?
Yep.
Why can't you ask somebody in your neighborhood? Why the fuck you got to come over to the other neighborhood where nobody knows you? Obviously, you done fucked over some people in your neighborhood or in your neck of the woods, and now you got to come over asking for. It's just a bunch of bullshit, man. I mean, think about it. Why don't we know about the stuff that's going on before they ask us for the money?
Right.
Well,
right.
If it's really going down like that, go
Right.
ahead, Megawatt. Sorry.
But you don't have enough time to do that because you got to attend all these meetings and
Yep.
all these appearances and everything that they do.
And it ain't gonna make no sense to you because
No.
it's not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like they're using like alchemy. They're using like word alchemy and
Yep.
casting spells. Like the only thing, like none of it's gonna make any logical sense to people like us. You mean because it's gonna be like, well, if that's the fucking case, why don't we just fucking do this and cut out all of this extra bullshit?
Right.
Yeah,
But
how about this? Instead of having to worry about billions of dollars to put people up in hotel rooms and close down schools so people can sleep in the gymnasiums, why don't you just close the motherfucking border and send those people back where the fuck they came from, just like somebody would do me?
Bro, why don't you just change the international law altogether? Why do people?
Why don't they? No need to change no law, bro. Just follow the motherfucker that's in place now.
Right. But you think about it, though. No,
because when they change the law, then that's what they want. See, they want us to think it's broken so they can do another law and put that bitch in place, and then it's even more fun.
I get what you're saying. And all I'm saying is the law before was you couldn't illegally cross into another country, but they changed it to be like, if you're facing persecution or whatever, you can illegally cross into another country.
You can seek asylum.
And you won't get charged. But why not just fucking have some place set up to where they could just go and fill out the paperwork take their ass, go camp. I don't give a fuck what you do, but you can't come in this country until after this shit is fucking vetted. Till you're
Right.
vetted. Simple as that. Like I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't see why there ain't no online program. Why there's not a library? There's got to be a free service somewhere. If these
Well, think
niggas got the
about this.
resources to fucking buy a fucking floaty to float their ass across a fucking little river to get into your fucking country or whatever, then they got the means to fucking fill out an application at an
Right.
office that you put on a border. Like I don't know,
Well,
man.
think about this
That's just
too.
weird.
So the asylum thing is like, all right, so boom, we're gonna let you come over here, and then we're gonna set a court date, and then you got to show up to the court date, and then we'll figure out if we're gonna let you live here or
Right,
not, et
right.
cetera, right?
Well,
But think about this: the area that they're letting the people, or they're not letting, the area that the people end up going is little cities and towns right on the
Mhm.
border, which is already full of other cartel
Mhm.
smuggled people in there,
yeah.
and then those people start beefing with each other because
Oh,
even in cities like Chicago, the gang members, like the Latin Kings, which represent Mexico, they hold up the Mexican flag. They're even saying shit's getting fucked up. There's not enough places for people to rent at the price that people can afford.
right.
So now it's just all fucked up. So now anybody that comes into the country has to be paid to live somewhere for a small amount of time, or they got to sleep on the street.
Yep.
Now,
read
remember
some-
when we was talking about this a while ago, and I said, watch what happens when they start offering people money for these people to live in their house. They're already fucking doing that shit.
mhm.
Think about that. And remember what I said yesterday when I said the motherfucking sober houses are linked up with the people that own houses, and so they can actually make a living and make money off of the sober house, all that shit. That's exactly what the fuck they finna do with this. They finna motherfucking, since it's too expensive to live, how about this? You can house some illegal immigrants in your shit,
Well,
in
they're
the
also
part of your
getting,
house
they're also getting
that you ain't
subsidies
using.
for doing that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man.
And I
That's what I'm
read,
saying. That's why I always say I'm smart enough.
Though.
That's why I always say I'm smart enough to know this motherfucking government, as long as they got this shit called democracy, and they got this shit called 7,500 federal agencies that people work for, they can do whatever the fuck they want to, because they can convince enough people that it's the thing to do,
Well,
and it don't make a fuck.
they got us convinced that it ain't enough room for everybody, and it's already been established like all of us could literally fit in the whole population of the United States could fit in soft houses in Alaska and still have over 600,000 acres for farming. Just as an example. Like they've already.
And think about this though. Think about why in the fuck do you even know that?
because they've been doing. I try to find
because that sounds like a goddamn concentration camp to me.
It does. It does sound like a concentration.
That sounds like a gulag.
But I'm saying like it's the possibility. So like if we could fit our whole population,
the fuck is a soft house?
Yeah, some bullshit.
Some FEMA houses.
But I'm saying like it's possible that we could fit the whole population of the United States in one place and still have 600,000 acres for farming. So it's like the overpopulation thing is retarded. It doesn't make sense. There's more houses that are empty right now than there are homeless people, and than there are fucking illegal fucking immigrants. So it's not like we don't have places that people could actually fucking go. But it's the whole fact that you can't give free shit like that to people who are just coming into the fucking country, and you're not gonna give the fucking people who've been working for this shit the free shit first. And that's the fucking problem that they're fucking having, because they know that they can't keep sustaining this type of fucking shit or immigrants like this, and at the same time keep the fucking people who've been in the country fucking happy. I mean, it's just not gonna fucking. It's not gonna coexist. Like somebody is gonna be getting mistreated because, like you said, it's a democracy and it's not a fucking a republic. It's not a
constitution republic.
It's not a constitutional republic anymore.
It's communism.
The majority rules. Right. It's communism. Right. Basically, majority rules. We do what the majority does. Fuck what the minority thinks. You just have to fucking suck it up and deal with it. If you guys want to do something about it, then you better fucking pay some politicians and get enough people in the party to fucking do something about it. Other than that, then
seriously though, you guys, go Go back and watch that movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. A lot of these themes are
Mhm.
present in there, and that's
Yeah.
from the 1800s, early
Yeah.
1900s. It just shows nothing has really changed during
Right.
that
No,
time
look,
frame.
the
Right.
United States of America is just like the
Yep.
USSR. I have came
Yep.
to the
Bro, me too,
conclusion
bro.
that this is the same
Same shit.
shit.
They let the
And
capitalism
China,
bullshit and then
China and in America, they're different. Yes, they are. They actually do have the social credit scores in place
yeah,
over there now.
yeah.
But China and the United States of America are both a little bit socialist, a majority capitalist, but underneath all that,
A
communist.
failed democracy is communism, and that's what we're having because the free market has been corrupt as long with the government has all of the power and is responsible for taking care of the people, and that's what makes it communism, and that's what happens because
And if you
it's a
don't like
failed
that the
when
government
you
wants
take
to take care of you, then you're a conspiracy
right.
theorist, right-wing terrorist.
Right, but I mean, but it's the truth though. Like that's literally what's happening is that the government takes care of a lot of the majority of people here, and then at the same fucking time, you know what I'm saying? To be able to take care of those people, they take away from the working people who don't want to be taken care of. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's a catch
Exactly.
22. But in a constitutional republic, my voice would matter still. You know what I'm saying? In a constitutional republic, I would still be
Yep.
able to live how I wanted to live,
And
while
think
the
about it,
majority
bro.
This is
lived how
not a
they wanted to live.
constitutional republic.
Think
Absolutely.
about this. The Confederate States, think about this, okay? The first 13 colonies that came to the United States that formed that was the motherfuckers in Europe, in England, that wanted law and order. They left that bitch. If you go back and read about history tells us that
Well,
the
that's what it
people that
says.
came
Yeah.
here
Yep.
wanted a actual fucking life.
Yep.
And the people that they left, they want a life too, but just a different type of life.
Right.
And so now, the reason why our Constitution is written so goddamn good, the Bill of Rights, all the human rights, all this shit that's in there, and in the different stages of it, like you
Because
said,
it was meant
like
to
I
be a
agree,
constitutional republic.
this shit would run perfect
Yep.
if it ran how it's supposed to.
Yep.
But
With
when
no
you get
corruption.
one fucked up ass chain
Yep.
in this link, or link
Yep.
in the chain,
Yeah.
and then it opens up for another link to get corrupt.
Yeah,
And
because
once that
that's
happens,
exactly
then it
what
is what
happened,
it is.
bro. It started getting corrupt, and then the capitalism came in, and that was cool because it used to be a free market. That's what capitalism was all about, a free market. Anybody can do anything, but they can't because if you create a fucking water engine, they're gonna murk you. Even though it's
Yeah.
fucking been
Yeah.
done
But
over and over again,
it's
they'll steal your
capitalism
shit.
with restriction. Capitalism
Yeah,
with
it's
restriction.
well,
There's
it's
no free
corrupted
It's just like
capitalism.
China.
Mhm.
That's
Without
what I'm saying. It's
the
corrupted capitalism. It's not what capitalism is. It's not what it's supposed to be. Capitalism is supposed to be free fucking market.
And if
China.
you
China is capitalism with communism.
Yes. and that's what
Meaning there's a free market, but guess what? There's only one person that you got to worry about. It's the fucking government.
Mhm.
The Chinese Communist Party has to approve of what the fuck goes on, unless you got enough motherfucking money
fail.
to where you could tell them, fuck off, bitch.
Mhm.
And
But
if
then
you
they
ain't
wanna
got
do
that kind
but
of
then they
money,
wanna do an IRS on it to on
and
you, find
and
out
check
why
this
you have
out,
that
the
much
only
money.
companies, bro, the only companies that have got that much money are the companies from the United States that set up shop in China. The
McDonald's
companies
and
that
shit.
start in China, they had to file their paper with the goddamn CCP. They ain't get around them. They're a part of it. The only motherfucking companies in China
They're taking
that don't
their
have
own
to,
money. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
exactly. So the only people operating in China that don't have to operate to China is companies like Coca-Cola.
Yep.
There's companies like big motherfucking
Apple.
Apple, bro. Apple,
Amazon.
all that shit. And they still get fucked with all the time. But at the end of the day, the Chinese Communist Party knows how motherfucking far they can go with
But
Coca-Cola
it's just
before
wild though
Coca-Cola
for us
says,
to
you know
think
what? Fuck out of here.
that shit could never exist in America and like it's not happening. Like that's like
But
bro, like that's the whole thing. Like you can't start a media company, bro, because they're gonna shut you down. You
yep,
couldn't
but you know
start
what though? But China has such a grip even on
You
Coca-Cola, because I've
can
heard this
if you
from
collect the
somebody.
data that the people are using for your media company and sell it to someone else.
Right.
yeah, well,
Or you or you could do this. What they're trying to do is like they're
I'm gonna give
trying
you
their
guys a great example.
best. They're trying their best. The Chinese Communist Party, the government, right, is trying their best to take the goddamn recipe from Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
recreate it, and kick Coca-Cola the fuck up out of
yeah.
there. But you know what Coca-Cola has? Coca-Cola has the Department of Justice on their side and has literally told the Communist Party, you steal this goddamn recipe and kick it out of your country and see what the fuck happens. Because that's going to make the United States look like a punk bitch that the most popular corporation, one of, that people think of America is Coca-Cola. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like,
right,
have
bro.
your
Yeah,
Coke. Fucking, yeah. And if you get punked out like that, you just got to go on and bend over.
yeah.
And the United States knows that shit. Coca-Cola knows that shit. And so you see how the Communist Party, they'll push and push and push, but they won't push on certain things.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like that in America too. You know what I
yes,
mean?
sir. Yes, sir. And that's why I was like, I don't. It's crazy how people can't see like that's how it is here. Like you're not gonna be like they were talking about the media company. Like if you were to start a media company, bro, like if you don't give the narrative they want you to give, then they're gonna fuck you over.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Like
be
think
one of the
about
most
this.
difficult things that you try to fucking do. Well, just to give you
Coca-Cola.
a great example though, real quick, was the motherfuckers who was God damn it! What was they? It was just trying to build something, and they had gotten a lot of support and money for it. It'll come back.
I was just gonna say, like Coca-Cola, Amazon, AT&T, these types of places, and McDonald's and shit like that. Like they're all over the country. And do we not think that the CIA likes that? The CIA can bug every fucking body they want to around the whole goddamn world, bro. Like I've talked to this man that literally goes from country to country setting up the global operations of Coca-Cola. And he's like, when I get to certain countries, I don't even by force of Coca-Cola, I'm not allowed to take any electronics with me. When I get there, I'm provided the phone and the computer I'm going to use, and I don't log in of any of my personal information or anything like that. And if we think that the CIA don't use it like that too, of course the CIA wants McDonald's in every fucking country around the whole goddamn world. Because everybody that walks in that bitch to eat, they can monitor them.
Data
It's the same way with Amazon. Anybody that orders any fucking thing around this planet from Amazon, your shit is goddamn kept up with. You know why? Because Jeff Bezos' dad was one of the head motherfuckers at DARPA. You think Amazon popped up from some goddamn books being sold online? You crazy as fuck. Why didn't the Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee porn sell out like that? Why ain't they build a business off that? Because I bet you a lot of motherfuckers would rather see Pamela Anderson sucking Tommy Lee's dick other than reading some punk ass book.
Right.
Think about the society we live in. I'm just saying. So you got to ask yourself these questions like, well, why didn't that blow up like that? But Amazon book selling did. Well, who's Jeff Bezos' dad? Oh, well, fuck. That makes a lot of goddamn sense.
And who else is in his pocket that you don't know about?
Exactly. Good God. And so, like,
down to the
these are companies that aren't going to, like Apple, like Google, like these are companies that are not going to fail as long as the United States of America is around. McDonald's, for instance, like all these ones, the classics, they're not going nowhere. Why? Because the motherfucking government gets just as much off of them as the company gets protection from the government.
Oh yeah,
Like go fuck around and try to fuck with a coke plant over in India. See what
bro,
happens.
bro.
Ain't no motherfucking
Go
police
ahead,
coming. It's the
go ahead,
goddamn military finna fly over with some
bro.
shit.
Go ahead and create your own recipe that tastes exactly like it and see what happens.
And see what happens. Exactly. Because
Anything
we
like
ain't
that,
talking
bro.
about, oh, that's not fair. We're talking about economic warfare at that
Bro,
point.
they would, bro. All right. Ford, for example, has 7 water engine patents. 7 water engine patents that they bought off of people. Every time a nigga invents some shit, the reason why it don't come out is because somebody will show up at your
Right.
fucking door.
And who can you tie Ford back to? Do you know?
Oh,
Who?
when you
Yeah.
government,
Well,
it's all
Go
government.
back farther.
Henry,
Yeah, Henry
Mr.
Ford.
Henry, and
Who
then
was
talk
he?
about
Who
how the
was
fuck
he
was
paper clipping into
I was
the
about to
United
say
States?
how the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
was Henry Ford allowed to do
Mhm.
the certain
He
things
He
Right.
was
that he
paper
did?
clipping Germans into the United States
Mhm.
And
through
then
the
think
Nazi
about this.
Party.
Okay, so think about this.
Yep.
All right, so what you just said, and then at that time, where was the best car made at?
Right.
It was
Mhm.
Germany, right?
Yep.
But then before
Yep.
that, what was the best car made at? The Soviet Union. They made cars in the Soviet Union that motherfuckers still drive today.
Mhm.
These cars were designed to last for lifetime.
Mm-hmm. And where did they get that technology?
Mm.
The
Ask Hitler.
Soviets, shit, I don't know. Probably
I
the
was
goddamn.
gonna say some ancient Tartarian,
Outer space.
some ancient Tartarian.
It's just
Outer
it's like the
space.
way it's like you think about like okay, so the first car didn't come from no goddamn. Wait a minute, whoa. This is like blows our mind. The first car didn't come from America.
Mm-mm.
No.
You can Google it. You might even Google it and it tells you that, but that ain't the fucking
But
truth.
them
though.
niggas had tanks first. You know they had something. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like picture that. Picture seeing that first tank. Picture being on the battlefield and you feel the whole ground rumbling. You look up and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so they had the first fucking tank supposedly. You know what I mean? According
Well,
to
if you think about like through history of warfare, there's always been something that was the most popular at that time. At one time, it was a battleship. One time, it was tanks. During the time that they used ships and tanks, they never thought they would use a plane for warfare.
Right.
And then, boom, what's the most? Well, not now because of drones, right?
Yeah.
But what do we think is the most effective weapon? Is a fucking airplane. That bitch will fly over and shoot the fuck out of you, can spy on you, can outrun you, can blow your shit up,
You know what's wild?
and come right back. But now we don't even need that. We got a drone that flies this
And
goddamn
you know why?
self.
Because you like, even though it may seem the U.S. military is like the best in the world, like when they tell you like, oh, we only have like 200 something planes, like, but people be like 200 something planes, and you think about it like, damn, is that really enough to go to war with? But then you look at how many every other country has, and we still have like 3 times as much as everybody else has. Like,
Yeah, the fucking Air Force, bro. There's like
60 fucking planes. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Air
like,
Force has like 16,000 goddamn fighter jets ready to motherfuck everything up that they want to.
16,000, right? You would assume, right? That how could
Well, that's of just one type, though. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Shit, ain't no goddamn telling how many they really got. Jesus Christ.
But they don't even got like, you know, they don't as many planes as they got. We don't even got enough pilots to fly them bitches all at once. You know what I'm saying? Like, but still at the same, I'm just saying, like, we think that it's, you know, a lot, but it's like just because it costs a lot to make one plane. It's not as many as you would fucking think, but it's still like I said, normally 3 times more than what the average military in another country has. Like, you would think, okay, well, who's next? Russia or China should have at least, you know what I mean, 8,000. You know what I mean? But like when you add them all up, like they don't. It's not that many.
And their numbers are fumbled around too. Supposedly, yeah, we got 1 minute. Well, I'll just end it with this right here. Supposedly, China's Navy has more ships than the United States Navy. And that's true. But check it out. The majority of their ships are like Coast Guard ships that we have. They don't even have a fucking gun on them. So all this talk about these militaries can take over this one. Who's been spending $700 billion or $1 trillion on their goddamn military budget?
Fuck the people. We need more guns.
exactly. Like, think about our society. Who
Yeah.
makes the most violent
Yeah.
music, the most violent movies? Who fucking really does push the button and go bomb whoever in the fuck?
Mhm.
Like, name one time that we know of, other than 9/11, that we were told that a foreign person or entity bombed the United States of
Kidding?
America.
What about
Oh
Hawaii?
shit. But yeah, that's more of an inside job too, though. Like he's saying, like
Yeah, I'm saying like a real,
you know, more
well,
like a
when the,
country.
I was just saying the last time would have been
Mhm.
9/11, so that's why I didn't go back any
Well,
further.
I mean, I wouldn't count that because I was an inside job. I mean, that's just what they say. I would say the last
Right.
time would be more like Japan and Pearl Harbor would be like the last time like we actually got bombed by another country and we knew and had evidence and proof it was another country and not our own fucking government.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's
Oh
what I
yeah,
was
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. That's just wild. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're right. It's been a long time.
But it's like, if we honestly believe that Pearl Harbor was
No,
a
I don't. I think
surprise,
no. I think that was
then I
Greenland as
think
well.
because I mean, there's really smart military minds,
Yeah.
and these people, that's all they
Well, I
do.
mean,
They don't just
ever
like
since
talk about it
then,
for 10 minutes.
we just been best friends with Japan. It's like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
let us blow up 2 of your cities. You guys can drop
Yeah.
some shit on Pearl
Yeah.
Harbor. We'll
You
call
know
it
what?
even, and we'll be best friends after that. Like,
Megawatt, I finally watched that Oppenheimer, and I
Uh-huh.
never knew that guy was Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely set it all the way in place for
told
me. I
you.
was like, wow. So
I told
okay,
you.
like, so this is,
Watch.
and
watch
he
this other
didn't
one.
even want to associate himself
Nope.
as Jewish,
Nope. He wanted separateness.
but
Mhm.
still practiced.
Science
Obviously.
and separateness is interesting in
well,
that.
that's because
in that
Zionism
movie.
ain't Judaism, man. Like it's
I'm
Zionism.
telling you, they're putting it out in your face for you to see it.
Yep. Yep. They don't want to be Jews. They want to be Zionists.